I did nearly kill myself yesterday by accident with improperly
Sorry,
placed
that was a
jacksticks
really
under
great
my
way
Miata.
to start that there.
No, I was the Miata was up in the air on jack stands, and I realized that two of them were not placed under after I had already been under it long enough to unbolt all of the under chassis bracing. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I shouldn't be under here right now. I
Oh
shouldn't
my
be under
god, I almost died. So, you guys ready?
Yeah, sure.
Right then. Hello and welcome to Proof of Concept Podcast. Now, unfortunately, we lost Will last week, but as in both World Wars, I decided to try and get the Americans to come to the rescue. So, hello, Daylan!
Hi, I'm Daylan.
And Paren's back.
Oh, hello.
And I'm Alex. So, how are we, guys? How are we all today? How have we been up to?
Pretty good. It's finally good and warm here in Kentucky.
Yeah, isn't it like 3 in the afternoon for you guys?
2:50 p.m. according to my clock. So yeah.
Yeah, it's currently 8:50 p.m. for us. I'm very tired. I've been up down in Milton Keynes today. Lots of roundabouts. A lot of roundabouts.
There's nothing with roundabouts.
I enjoy a roundabout. You know, you can kind of like speed onto them and speed back off. Also, the Red Bull F1 team's there. I don't watch F1. I drove past it though. It was cool.
Yeah, I stayed a couple of nights in Milton Keynes and it was all right. It was mainly just shopping centres.
Yeah.
Just a shopping centre. And that was about it. Me and my mate Neil, who's coming on the trip with us, and I walked to an Asian cuisine place. I could have driven because it was 2 miles, but I said, nah, let's walk. And we got lost in the middle of Milton Keynes. And I thought I was going to be stabbed.
Yeah.
It was all right.
That sounds like you. So now we've caught up with what we've done today. What have we been up to in the last sort of 2 weeks when it comes to cars then, boys? I'm sure we both, all three of us even, have had something interesting. So, Daylan, what have you been up to?
Last weekend, I attended Grid Life Bunny Bash, NCM, and broke my car. Yeah.
Well, how, on a scale of like 1 to 10, how badly broken?
Well, it drove home. It just wouldn't have if I did another session. Just wouldn't.
Did it actually drive home?
Yeah, I drove home on its own power even. It
Oh.
just sounds like a box of ball bearings that's trying to escape from a washing machine.
I mean, it's not so bad, because I know your MX-5 is broken, but you've got your backup car, you've got your Tahoe.
No, that's also broken.
Oh, okay. Well, you've got, I don't know. Can you borrow a horse?
I have been borrowing the broken Dodge truck.
Oh, you got long bitch back.
Yeah, the drive shaft's trying to fall out, but it still moves.
Do you own any functional vehicles?
No.
That sounds about right. Talking of someone who owns no functional vehicles, Paran, what have you been up to this last few weeks?
Oh, piss off. No, I've got the car for our trip to Scotland MOT'd. I did my first ever bit of welding, and I'm slowly sinking even more into a depression. But yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I know that feeling. See, my car failed MOT, also for rust, because it turns out somebody had jacked it, right? Yeah, I keep saying jack it off. Yeah, I keep saying they jacked it off, and my dad keeps telling me off for that. They jacked it off from the wrong part of the floor, and the jack's gone through the floor, and they've just gone, oh, quick, cover it with sealant, and that's rusted it through. So my car failed MOT, so I've not actually had that, which is great. I miss driving so much, but I have actually been doing my first ever car review, which is going to be on this channel eventually. I got to drive a Volkswagen Polo TDI. It was an car.
Amazing.
That was the GT.
Standing ovation.
No. There was a GTI version, but the one I drove was just the 1.6 diesel, and honestly, it was fine. Although, interestingly, I've had a lot of offers now for cars to test drive from other people. I've had someone offer me a Lexus LS 430, which is going to be very fun. I've had somebody.
I like those.
Yeah, someone's potentially offered me an Audi S8 V10, which I'm very excited for if that does go through. Yeah, there's loads. There's Nissan 370Zs. I've got a huge list I can work through already. So that's going to be a really exciting time for me. However, my own car doesn't work. So.
So the moral of that story is be careful and precise when jacking.
Yeah, you make sure you jack in the right spots. You don't want to get it stuck underneath you. It gets really bad then. So that's our wrap up of the week done. It's a bit of a disjointed one this week, guys, because this is all very last minute, obviously, because of losing our original podcast host. Are we going to have to Voldemort him and just pretend he doesn't exist, or are we actually going to be because we wasn't a bad breakup, but I feel like I should still eat lots of ice cream and cry.
Are we doing the Charlie Sheen where you just write in a bit where he slips and falls in the showers and dies, or what?
I forgot that happened.
Sure.
Didn't he get pushed in front of a bus or something? That was the way he was written off.
No, I didn't actually watch the show. My understanding, the death they wrote in for him after they fired him was that he literally slipped in the shower and died.
That's great. In which case, Will, my good friend, who I am going to be driving with to Scotland, has slipped and fallen in the shower. So this is a bit of a disjointed episode. But
alternatively, you could do the Paul Walker, where they just he fake him into the entire second half of the movie.
The problem is, Will is an only child, so I can't cast him as his brother. Parent, you do a good Will impression. Be Will.
I'm not going to be in this one today because I'm busy.
That's actually a scarily accurate Will impression, right, Daylan? You know need to be Parent.
What?
I'm just trying to. So,
just add in a lonely virgin. I've got no one to love me, and then you're pretty much there. that's pretty much. You've pretty much got me down to a T. To be fair.
So I'm going to say let's move on to this week's specialism, because I brought Daylan in for this because Daylan drives a Miata. So Daylan, take it away, my friend. What is the Miata?
The Miata, also known as the MX-5 in most of the world, it's when Mazda decided they wanted the cheaper sports car than the RX-7, so they took a bunch of economy car bits and turned them sideways and made them rear-wheel drive.
But didn't think to put
and they have the Miata.
But then didn't think to put the engine in the middle where it belongs.
No, they put it in the front to where it actually makes sense. You can get to things easily, and then they put a decent normal transmission in the rear, in the middle, and then a good diff in the back. So the whole thing just works.
I mean, I would say it's not a good transmission because yours blew up, but so did Paran's on his MR2. So it's 1 for 1 on transmissions.
Mine had 236,000 miles on it when it finally gave up. And it died on a racetrack when I did something stupid. So it died.
How did yours die, Paran?
Well, I was driving home after a Christmas meal, and it kind of made a crunchy noise, and then I limped it home, which thankfully I was only around the corner from my house because a few months before the gearbox cable snapped, and that was literally around the corner from my house. So
see,
it's
I've never blown up a transmission, so
I screwed up a 5.3 downshift into turn 17 at Instant Motorsports Park and slid sideways across the serrated curb into the dirt. And then it started making angry rattling noises after that.
Yeah, that'll do it. So, should we get on to should we talk about the concepts rather than how badly our wallets hurt?
Is this where I say next slide?
Yeah. You tell me when.
Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. So, here's where it started. 1984, 85 is when we see the first concept for the Miata.
Oh, it's a Suzuki Cappuccino.
The concept started with Bob Hall was a really big fan of the Triumph Spitfire. And they decided to make a new Triumph Spitfire that actually worked. So they made it look like a Lotus Elan.
Yeah, I was gonna say 'cause
They made it look like a Lotus.
it looks a lot more like a Lotus Elan than it does. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Hall did not do the design. Tom Matano did. But you can see it's a lot more resemblance to like the FCRX7 as well, as far as like some of the angles. And there's the Lotus Elan as well. But you can not a lot of this, as best I can tell, made it into the NA Miata.
I was gonna say it's a very different. Again, it looks more like a cappuccino. Like as if there was a previous generation of cappuccino that was also somehow bigger. It's not a bad looking thing. Definitely prefer what actually got made.
Yeah, it's. Trying to think. The front bumper grill opening kind of made it. The general location of the turn signals on the front made it.
I guess the general
the windshield
shape
looks
kind of
deeper.
make it.
Yeah.
They lost the Speedster thing. I don't get the Speedster cowl a lot of cars have.
Yeah, they tried that. They also actually tried a fixed roof coupe version of this like immediately, and I have seen like one picture of that. The other thing they did with it was, I think, yeah, there were also front wheel drive and mid engine concepts made of this, but they ended up with the traditional front engine longitudinal mounted rear wheel drive roadster.
But even they acknowledged that it should have been in the wrong way. Exactly. So I mean. Look, I hate to point out to you, yet outnumbered by the owners of, as you described them, ass-backwards Celikas. You know, clearly in this chat, you're the minority. It's the only time you're going to be the minority, because usually the MX-5 outsells like every MR2 massively. But we'll ignore that.
Every E Street class ever, you will see like 5 NBs and 1 MRS.
And that's just because the MRS is that much better. They only need 1 to prove you wrong. Right.
So that's about all I've got on that one. So next slide, please.
Okay. Ooh.
And now we get into immediately deciding that people can change things.
I was going to say, because this looks like the actual production one.
This is the Club Racer concept, which, funny enough, was showed in 1989 when the MX-5 debuted. Like, they parked this next to the new production model MX-5. This was based on one of the last pre-production cars.
Okay.
So most of the interior differences are actually just pre-production changes.
Oh, okay.
So they did like the slight wide body on it. They got rid of the pop-ups, which I find funny because people still complain about getting rid of the pop-ups on an Ace.
I'm not gonna. It kind of looks better with no pop-ups, if I'm honest.
Normally I don't like it, but when they did it with the wide body, it works. So you got Momo Monte Carlo wheel. Those look like modified, like stock seats, a little bit of bolstering added. Funny enough, only has a lap belt. I noticed that looking at this picture. They didn't do. Well, I guess it's 1999. You should have had 3-point by then, but no, they just put a lap belt in this car, which makes zero sense. Since it's supposed to be the race car version.
Yeah, that's really weird. I mean, it's the 90. Technically, it's 89, so you know you don't need safety at this point. You know,
yeah.
I notice it's very yellow. I do appreciate the fact that it's very yellow.
I think that was the third color this car was in. You see some pictures of it. You'll see it's red on the engine bay, and then there's blue down the pinch wheel. So I think it was a Marina blue car originally, and then it got painted red, and then it ended up yellow as the show car version.
That's kind of impressive. So do they do any actual performance upgrades to this?
No, this is a base 1.6 5-speed open diff car.
They did it with the 1 point. I mean, I guess nobody wants the 1.6.
This was 89, so the 1.8 was not a thing yet. So,
oh, okay.
Other thing odd was they didn't have like the valve covers for the Miata yet. The Miata did get its own valve covers for the B6 engine. This has all of the engine covers from the 323 GTX.
Yeah, because the engine for this came from a saloon or something, didn't it?
Every generation Miata, you look at the engine will be basically the base 4-cylinder from some like compact or like mid-size economy car turned sideways. This is the same engine family as the Mazda 323 and Ford Festiva. You get into the 1.8, that's what came out of the 626 and like the Protege. It's
For-
where the 1.8 came from.
For anybody
Get into your
who
2
wants to
liter,
know,
that's the same engine as the Focus. Dude, this thing.
for anyone wondering what the Ford Festiva is, we got it over here as the Kia Pride.
Yes. Funny enough, it was also sold here as the Kia Pride. Just no one remembers it.
Do you know our little challenge? I was gonna buy a Kia Pride at one point for that barn.
Oh right. Well, I was going to say, driving one of them, you would have to either have loads of pride or none at all in what you drive. Owning one of those little Kias.
You have to be really, really like secure to the bit. You'd be like, no, I'm taking nothing but the purest pride. Or you could paint it in a rainbow.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
See, thinking smarter, not harder. Make it a gay thing. It's fine.
Exactly. And you could write "gay" before the pride bit as well. So it's
Exactly.
Kia Gay Pride.
Exactly.
See, I'm building a time machine. We're going back in time, and we're going to Korea. And we'll make that happen.
Where'd you go
We're gonna go-
back in time with the Glock, back to the Kia boardroom in the 1980s, so when they rebadge the Ford Festiva, they call it the Gay Pride. Actually, what you need to do is, you said
Marty,
this.
you've got to come back with me. Back where, Doc? Back to Korea in the 1980s.
But actually, what you got to do is you got to go to Ford and actually, I think it's Isuzu. I think Isuzu made the thing originally. You got to say to them, right? No, what you need to do is you need to sell this to Subaru, and Subaru can make the Subaru Gay Pride because it fits it. I am going way off on this tangent. This is a common theme with this show.
I don't think Subaru would have done it because they already had the Outback.
That was already the Gay Pride car.
Actually, it wasn't the Outback yet, but like I'm pretty sure like the Loyal wagon was it was already in that space.
I don't think we got the Loyal here. I think we definitely got the Legacy. Off topic. So Miata, did any of the stuff on this become like available? Because I know obviously the MX-5 has a really wide aftermarket. Did any of this, like the bumpers, the wide body?
Well, the steering wheel and the wheels you can just buy those. Those are Panasports and a Momo Monte Carlo.
Okay.
The seats look a lot like the stock seats in my NB, actually. You want to look at them.
I was going to say, but with Miata written in really nicely at the top.
Yeah. Actually, most of what you're seeing in the interior changed because if you look at the door panels, you'll see there's like that ring around the manual window winder. They got rid of that.
I was going to say, good, that's very ugly.
Was different. That trim piece of dove above like the armrest door pull that went away. The gauges in this car are like the pre-production ones. They're not special to this car. They're just pre-production. All of those changed before the production model. And think the other detail, like if you look real close, the center console is all smooth black plastic, and it had like a textured thing going on the production car.
Oh.
So
I quite like that. The real killer for me is I really wish I liked the MX-5 to drive. I think they're really, really great looking cars. And I actually think on many levels, and Paran, you'll probably hate me for this, they're better than the MR2. As a daily as a usable everyday car, they are a better option than the MR2. But
they are, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get the enjoyment from driving them that I do from the MR2. They felt just really easy. And I think, obviously the worst one is clearly the second generation one, especially if it's got a black hardtop and lots of golf ball dings in it from a hailstorm, for example. Then it's just the worst.
What do you mean?
Well, if you had a white NB MX-5 called golf ball, for example, you'd inherently be a bad person.
See, if you had stupid red dragons and do initial D references down the front of your car, then you would be a massive idiot. And
what was funny, there is a red dragon on the inside door panel of my car because Alex sent it to me. Because Alex.
Damn you, Welshie.
I'm feeling attacked now.
I'm trying to think. I believe it's Balder to say about the Club Racer. So there's next slide, please.
Okay.
Here we
Ooh.
have
Ooh.
the M Coupe. This was, I think, actually the second attempt at making a hardtop couped Miata, and I hate it. I think it's ugly. Um,
Yeah, kind
uh,
of. It looks a bit like they've just cut the roof off an RX-7 and glued it on the top.
I believe that is literally the back glass from an FDRX7.
Yeah, I believe it. I
Um,
don't hate
the little
it.
tiny quarter window, that is its own glass.
Yeah.
And they had to do like a weird thing with the fuel door to make it fit right there where the new deck lid went.
Mm,
The only thing I like about it is if you look, the roof line on this is taller than like the hard tops or the soft tops you had in the MX-5s. And there's, if you look at the headliner, there is a recessed area that looks like they were trying to make room for helmet.
I was gonna say because you have issues in yours, don't you? Because you have to drop the floor on yours because of you.
Yeah, I have done extensive fab work in mine to actually fit in it with a helmet because I'm stubborn and like my car.
Yeah, I'm probably after the same in mine. Actually, I don't think that's quite low in mine, in fairness. But I know a lot of people have the same problem with because the Japanese make small sports cars. The rest of the world is maybe not quite small enough. Didn't they actually make a coupe though? I think that was the NB they did it with. But they did make a coupe.
There were like 100 or so built in Japan only for the NB coupe. That had a little bit different roof line on it, and I haven't found a lot about them.
The thing is, I don't get why they never made, because they do now, don't they? They do the RF, which is okay, not a coupe, but it is a Targa.
It's another version of the it's retractable hardtop.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think RF is retractable folding. I think is what the RF actually stands for. So it's a Targa top, but the Targa top just retracts into the trunk of the car. What I don't like about those is they have less headroom than the standard soft top cars.
I mean,
Also,
I guess that makes
you can't put a roll
sense.
bar in them, or else if you put a roll bar in the car, you can't fold the top down.
Oh, yeah, that seems. I guess if you buy one for track use, you have to just accept that you don't get the roof down anymore.
Most people just get the soft top. And
I imagine because
because
it'd be cheaper.
Like they've
Yeah.
always done.
Yeah, that would probably be cheaper.
The soft top's also lighter. So.
I think you don't want hard tops anyway. Hard tops are for people who are silly. You want a soft top with lots of ventilation in. Just personally, I'm thinking. Yeah,
I believe.
Sorry,
I believe this car still had standard suspension and standard drivetrain. This was a '96 model, so this has the 1.8, and it should have the
good
torsion
engine.
diff and a little bigger brakes.
I say because the 1.6 in these is kind of crap in it.
It's okay. It's just nothing impressive and it doesn't make any power. The very early 1.6s had a fun problem where the crank snout like to crack the keyway around like the balancer. Yeah. So next slide, please.
Ooh.
Now we get into the Monoposto.
Why does it look more like a Dodge Viper now than it does normally?
The hood scoop definitely does that, and I believe the fenders are a little bit more aggressive in the front.
Yes, I think that is. So what? Why, Daylan? Why?
So this wasn't. Tom Matano claims he was inspired by the Jaguar D-Type and the Lotus 11.
I could see that. Yeah.
So, obviously no roof, little bit tiny windshield. The doors do not open. You have to step over the door to get into the car. Only the one seat. Also has a 190 horsepower turbocharged 1.8.
As in the Mazda Speed one.
No, this predates the Mazda Speed. So no, it's the similar setup to what became the Mazda Speed engine. This is the BP4W. So It's before the VVT with a turbo on it. Made more power than the Mazda Speed. The Mazda Speed was only 178 horsepower. So we've got bigger brakes, HKS adjustable suspension, 18-inch wheels with like a 225 wide tire in the front, 255 wide in the rear. 6-speed manual, torsion diff. Probably would have had the 14 gear in it. So the same bad gearing the Mazda Speed got. And this was 2000. So this came out right before the mid-cycle refresh, with the MB, what was the MB2. And about the only thing similar with this and the MB2 is the shape of the grill opening. It's about all that came over.
Oh, okay.
I think the headlights I think also went over too.
I didn't realize there was that much of a facelift on the NB. If I'm honest, this.
Yeah, they changed the entire front bumper. They changed the taillights. The interior was changed a little bit, and they added the new engine.
So why did they make this? Was this actually used for anything? Was this just kind of like a, hey, look what we can do? Or
This was another show-off project.
Oh.
Was to get attention to auto shows. This actually was a drivable car. They gave this to magazines and let them drive it.
Huh.
So
was it any better than the regular? I'm assuming it was just slightly faster.
It was faster and handled better. I don't. It was enjoyable from what I could read about the review I saw of it, but it definitely gave up something from versus the standard NB. It was lighter though because they cut a bunch of things off.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're missing half the car there. In fairness,
yes.
Also got no blind spots whatsoever, which is pretty good.
yes,
that is definitely an improvement.
that would make it easier for racing, I guess. Well, there's a bit of a weird history with car manufacturers and kind of cutting the roof off a car to go, there you go, race car now. I gotta say, I don't like the way it looks. It's like if you ignore this sort of midsection, I think they've made a slightly kind of beefier, cooler looking version of the MX-5, but it looks weird. Like it looks like there's a big chunk of the car missing, which it is.
If they kept the windshield on it and just did like more of later with the spider style look with this car, I think it would have been better. Also, I hate big wheels on Miata so much.
Yeah, I just give it high profile tires. The big rims is just wrong.
15-inch wheel is all you need for a Miata. Sorry, it's just
15
is way too much.
15 inches is what you need for most cars. In fairness, it's like when you see like a big truck and it's like on really low profile tire. It just looks weird. It's slightly less egregious on an MX-5 because it is a sports car, so you can kind of go, oh, it's a performance use. On a truck, it's downright bizarre, but
not really, because you get that small of a sidewall on it, the tire becomes a lot less communicative, and like you find your limit of grip, and you get no warning at all. It's like, yep, well, we're gone, we're done now, we're sliding.
Huh. I was also under the impression that if you had lower profile, it was better for corner. It did have better sort of handling grip and what have you.
That is largely dependent on the carcass of the tire. A lot of tires, like the ones I have in my car, they're a fairly stiff sidewall, so you don't actually get you actually want a bit of movement there because it gives you more feeling of what the car is doing and where you are as far as your limit of grip.
See, to everyone listening, Daylan actually knows things about stuff. Para knows a bit more stuff than me. I know nothing. I am the meat that holds the veg together, but I am not the bread of knowledge. That was a sentence that made sense to me and me only. I hope you know
Appreciate
what
the
I
effort on
meant.
that, Evan.
Yeah.
I'm still an idiot. I know some things, but
I know a lot of stuff. It's just I don't know how to get it onto paper or say it.
Or actually know it in the first place.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of stuff. Hang on, the dog's trying to get in the room. What are you doing, bud? Silly dog.
My dog's doing much better, by the way. I don't know if you guys wanted to know. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, my dog fell really badly ill yesterday, and we thought that was it. But he's sprung back to life with some pills. So that's good news. Do you know what I wish they'd done with this? But like you said, Daylan, with the whole having a windscreen, if they just kept the two seats, give it like this little sort of bubble at the back for each seat, and had like a really low cut windscreen. But like on the, I think it's like the Lotus Superlight or something like that. There's like a, just before they brought the Elisa. Oh God, that's gone to the next page. I don't know why it's done that.
Actually, more like what they done with. I should have included it in but the '95 M Speedster was a much better attempt at the Speedster look. But the Monoposto is a bit more dramatic, which is why I included it.
It's dramatic, but at what cost?
It was according to reviews, it was excellent to drive. Also, it had very large brakes on it too.
Is that maybe why they went to bigger wheels with it?
Yes, they actually had it's a Bear aftermarket set, so very large calipers and rotors. Yeah, So yeah, they made Turbo Miata with half the Miata. That's what they did here.
So more power, less car.
Yeah.
It's the Lotus way.
Now, actually, what would have worked, you'll find a lot of like autocross cars, like once they get to a certain level of like prepared cars or modified, they will cut the windshield off and put a really tall roll bar on. Because if you no longer have to match the height of the windshield or care about putting a top on the car, you can make the roll bar as tall as you need to actually fit under it. So
I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah, that's how a lot of race car Miatas have no windshield and very tall roll bar.
is that why then things like the Caterham 7 or what have you often don't have them have what you call them on at all?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm learning things today. Oh. So
next.
also go on.
Yeah.
Next slide. Let's go to the next slide. Ooh.
Yeah, sure.
Hello.
So here we go. This is possibly my favorite Miata ever. The Super 20.
This is very sexy. I like this a lot.
They took the last facelift in C.
The one that looks like
removed
a Honda S2000.
Maybe a little bit. It is lighter than S2000 though, so there's that.
Huh.
So they removed the soft top, put a roll bar in it, bolted on permanent hard top, gave it adjustable coilovers, believe those RPF ones, bigger tires, bigger brakes, 2-liter engine with a supercharger and a header and full exhaust on it.
Is that a
But they
Cosworth
left the short
supercharger?
gear- Yes, that is a Cosworth supercharger setup.
Yes.
Engine was built by Flying Miata. So,
I was going to say, I just noticed the badge there. Was that aftermarket or was that?
no, that wasn't a Flying Miata did the engine setup on this car. So,
So why?
I'm not sure what their goal was because they never did anything like this on a production model. But basically, it was what if we take the Miata but make it nutty? Because that's the thing they never actually did. There was the Mazda Sp, but the Mazda Sp was still pretty tame.
Did you know about the other turbo MX-5 that they made?
The SP Turbo in Australia that was 210 horse.
Okay, that's a different one I'm thinking of then. Mazda SP200 turbo.
SP Turbo. It was basically, I think, it came out roughly like a year before the Mazda Speed Miata. But I like the engine setup in the SP Turbo more because that is the VVT engine with the turbo and 210 horsepower.
See.
The Mazda Speed production car was the the 4W non-VVT engine with a turbo and lower compression, made 178 horsepower.
Actually, we got a turbo MX-5 before that. Do you know what the one I'm on about, Perrin? Might be a bit obscure.
No.
So, on the N8, to celebrate Mazda winning 24 Hours of Le Mans, they made a special turbo N8. I think there's only 60 of them. With a turbo bolt.
Is that the one?
It's Turbo 1.6, wasn't it?
Is that the one that's got the livery that looks like the Le Mans car?
Yeah. There's literally only like 60 of them, and they were all sold in the UK, if I remember correctly. And they were all turbo. So yeah, there was originally a forced induction MX-5 in the UK before anywhere else. I don't know what got me onto that, but there we go. Oh yeah, the nutty Miatas. So is that literally all this was? Just go, look, we can be mad.
Pretty much, yeah. Because what I like about it is it's, they never intended for this to be a production car, so they didn't bother making it refined. It actually was just a hot rodded NC Miata. The reviewers noted that the tires would scrape the plastic fender flares on big bumps occasionally.
Fantastic.
It still had the 6-speed and the short gearing from the 2-liter car. So 0 to 60 involved 2 shifts on this thing.
Nice.
And you were going to be all over the limiter before you got to second and before you got to third. It's just how it was.
That's yes. How
And
much
while
power
they
did it
had,
actually make?
They never dynoed it.
Oh,
They didn't care. It makes screaming noises and it's fast. Good enough. They didn't bother putting out a dyno to get any numbers to publish.
I'm annoyed. That is so cool, and it's well because it's arguably like one of the best looking generations of MX-5.
The NC3, the final facelift NC is one of my favorite Miatas, and specifically the Super 20. There is a very large chance that if I ever get an NC, it's going to end up being a Super 20 clone, because I love the Super 20 so much.
Yeah, I understand that.
They built two of them. They did this one and another one that was black and orange. So
Orange
I like
is
the
better.
orange one more though.
Yeah, orange
Yes.
is cooler. Parent, black or orange?
Orange.
Correct
Yeah,
answer.
definitely orange. I like the fog lights they added that in the grill.
Why did they
Yeah,
move them from the original fog light position?
I believe the original fog light. I'm doing this memory. The original fog light was in the bumper, and I think the bumper might be brake cooling duct on this one.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's cool.
Yeah, so
Kind of
this
looks
was
like some kind of.
this was just spicy Miata street cars. All this was.
I was going to say it kind of looks like some kind of dodgy anime cat girl thing off one of them animes that people watch.
What's your problem with animes?
That is a very common observation made when looking at the NC3, and frankly, I agree. Because you've got like a bit of the cheek thing going, like the weird, like aggressive smile, and then there's the eyes.
The
only thing I can.
So go on.
The only thing I can relate it to is the Chin Pokemon episode of South Park, where because they're being brainwashed by the Japanese, they all start becoming anime characters, and it's just really funny. But yeah, they all look like the front of that Mazda.
I'm not sure if this is offensive or not. I feel like it's not.
No, because the whole point is it's meant to be like a taking the piss out of Pokemon, and they all look like Pokemon characters and start talking like Japanese.
I have seen more than one meme that is literally Pikachu with the NC's face.
Yeah.
On the Pikachu.
See, I can see the exact meme at the top left photo. That is the that is the. Can you come in tomorrow? No. When I don't come in tomorrow meme. Even the new fog lights even look like teeth. Oh god, the NC's an anime girl, isn't it?
Yes.
See, I know it's slightly off topic, but I've just found on Initial D Hell all of the mono. Is it the Monoposto, the one that we just looked at?
Yes.
I just found like that they did like a daily mono posting thing where they just posted loads of edits of that one car. For like days and days and days.
I don't wish to see these photoshops.
I do not have enough time in my life to understand what goes through the mind of the weebs on Initial D Hell. I know, because I'm one of them.
Yeah, I try to keep the Initial D stuff away from my Miatas because Miatas don't do very well in Initial D. They always crash.
That's fine. I mean, the one time
I
my
do
MR2
have
was
Mako on the door, so on the door panel. So.
I mean, I've got red suns along the side of mine, so I've not spun out yet. I haven't put a spoiler on to fall off to make me spin out yet. So
you did end up in a shrub.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh no, I've doomed myself via anime.
That's definitely a thing that happened.
Oh god, I forgot. I actually completely forgot about that, and I spin out all the time. Oh,
you should have put Night Kids on it because it's more fitting.
I know, because it's. Oh yeah, all right, fine. Yes, I had a crash and you two didn't. Boo hoo. Let's all laugh at Alex with the spinning MR2, whatever car I have.
Earlier in the episode, I did admit to breaking my transmission going forward.
This is true. At least, yeah, I didn't blow up my transmission. You two both blow up transmissions. And you crashed into the back of someone, Parent. So, I know you weren't actually having a go at me, but I thought I'd get a preemptive strike in. Bastards,
people
both
have backed into my car.
Yeah, your car is... Your poor golf ball is absolutely... If any of you ever see golf ball, like, remotely close, there's a reason for the name. I've only seen it up close on video as well. If I see it in real life, I imagine it's bad, isn't it, Dale?
I mean, what's annoying is it's actually the best paint on any car I've had. Like, it still shines, but it's covered in rock chips, hail damage. The front bumper's got a dent where someone backed into it with a trailer hitch. The bottom of the bumper has a crack where I hit a raccoon with it.
See, I've never hit an animal. Someone reversed into me on day 4 of owning the MR2. One
of my taillights is slightly faded different than the other because I had to replace it because Mom backed her Durango into that corner and broke my taillight, and also broke the clips that hold the bumper cover on that corner.
On a very real note, right? So obviously, all three of us own quite small, low sports cars. Do you find people just don't see you all the time?
No,
It happens.
I just had some builders shouting wanker when they drove past when I had my roof down the once.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably at you directly. In fairness, not the car, but
I don't know about that because
I generally
pretty
get
accurate.
positive reactions from my car. It's weird.
actually, do you know, same. People look at mine and go like, "Oh," especially when I had the Halloween teeth on it, because yeah, people really love that. They were like, "Oh, it's great. How cute is it?" Especially because mine looks like a blushing anime girl when you lock it.
No one ever noticed the teeth on mine. Possibly
Oh,
because they were kind of small and like sit pretty far back in the grill opening, so you had to be pretty far away to even see them. Because if you stood next to the car, you couldn't see them.
see, mine were huge, and but a lot of people didn't quite get they were teeth, so most people thought I'd put fake icicles on it for some reason.
I see that. I
Yeah.
can see that actually.
I feel like we've gotten slightly off topic on the Super 20.
But Super 20. Super 20 is best Miata.
Honestly, I kind of agree. That is fresh.
Like everyone makes fun of the NC for being the big one, but it's still fairly light. This is, I think,
1,100, I think, was the
yeah.
the
Like I
curve
say,
weight at the stop.
This is still they're still like it's like 150, 200 pounds lighter than an S2000.
Mm. And they're actually quite a good handling chassis, because that's the weird thing is everyone gave the NC shit for being heavy, but they praised the RX-8 for being a really good handling chassis, even though it's the same chassis.
Same chassis.
Yeah.
This has a shorter wheelbase and doesn't have a fixed roof. The RX-8 was like 6 inches longer and had a hard top on it.
Yeah, that's
So.
about all that was different, wasn't it? It's not.
Yeah, the front and rear suspension was the same. The subframe is different. So if you do hypothetically want to put the 4-cylinder into the RX-8, you need the Miata subframe.
Why would you want to do that? Surely you'd want to put the rotary in the MX-5.
Nah.
Just because it's unreliable.
The NC is the funny enough. A very common engine upgrade is to take the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder from the Ford Fusion.
To us over here, the Ford Fusion's a very different thing to you guys over there. Ford Fusion to us is a
Mazda 6, maybe, I think. It
Yeah.
may have also been the Mondeo. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Mondeo.
Yeah, I think it might have been, yeah. Because the Ford Fusion to us is a weird square version of the Fiesta.
Yeah, the Fusion here at the time was a sedan, like midsize.
Probably the Mondeo in that case. That's probably a good engine swap, actually.
It's not that great if you just do it stock, but you can take, because the 2.5 in the Fusion was very low compression. But if you take the 2.5, put pistons in it to raise the compression, and then put cams in it, it's spicy. That's probably what I would do if I ever bought an NC, which I probably will end up buying an NC at some point.
I mean, I'm surprised you wouldn't put an LS in it, to be honest.
No, I don't actually. I would just buy a Corvette at that point, because I also want a Corvette.
Haven't you had a Corvette by now? Or is that Tyler I'm thinking of?
Tyler's had like 6 of them.
I saw a Corvette. It was a C6. And it was rough as fuck. And it was hilarious because it was parked next to, of all things, a Peugeot 206cc and a Toyota Aygo. And seeing a Corvette barely squeeze into a tiny space next to these two things.
Was it a stick car?
It was. I don't remember. I think it was stick.
Yeah.
It was rough. I'll tell you that for nothing. The paint was peeled. All the wheels were very clearly a daily driven car, but I kind of respect that. But he was just parked outside this fucking block of flats. This was this guy's one car, and it looked rough as balls, but still going.
The Corvette's actually, especially a base C6, isn't a terrible only car. There's plenty of room to put stuff in them.
Yeah, it's got a huge boot.
They actually get pretty decent fuel economy if you keep your foot out of it.
Yeah, because you can just lug them.
I think Tyler was telling me his like 600 horsepower Z06 would get 25 miles per gallon on the highway still.
I mean, but that's American miles per gallon, you know. That's probably like 12 miles per gallon to the rest of the world.
Okay, if you stood on it, it got 5. But
Yeah, but at that stage, who needs fuel, right? I mean, I've had bad MPG cars. Parent, what was the least economical car you've ever owned?
Oh, actually, that's a good point. I think it's my Starlet. Either that or my Daihatsu.
Mine was my Volvo. I think that did 18 miles to the gallon.
You've got me intrigued now. I'm going to have to look this up.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
it was a 2-liter turbo, and I drove it everywhere like a 2-liter turbo. It broke a lot. Not a very good car, but yeah, I think I got 18 miles to the gallon. Go
the
on,
Mustang got like 15, I think.
The thing is, obviously, because there's
My
a difference.
no, my 5.2 V8 half-ton Dodge got like 12.
It is the Starlet, I think. I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, so 1.2 UK MPG is 1. So that means maths in my head. 15 US MPG. Your Mustang got something. Why is this? Just give me the calculation. I don't want to have to enter more details in.
I like how no one's questioned that I went from Mustang to Miata.
You like the M's?
You gotta get them all. 18.1
Micra.
miles per gallon in the UK. That's what you achieved.
That's impressive.
It was a 4.6 2-valve V8 automatic trans convertible with a 278 gear. No, 298.
You're owning a lot of convertibles, I'm noticing.
Only had 2.
That's a lot of convertibles. You should do what Mazda did here and go, no, actually, we're going to get rid of the convertible and we're going to make it a permanent hardtop. See how I segue
That
it back
actually
in?
is what I've done on my car.
Well-
My Miata no longer has a soft top. It has a hard top bolted onto it.
I knew that. I was just trying to segue it back into the topic at hand. I was trying to be clever. Did you have to one-up me like that? No. You just
Anyway,
made me look bad.
Yeah. The only change I would have made to the Super 20 is it still has the stock seats, and I've decided I hate stock seats. It needs race seats.
I mean, if you're going to go with a full row bar and everything like that, you'd think at least they'd throw the driver's seat in there, which is a bit odd.
Yeah.
And of course, again, if you're going to go roll bar and lighten it, just strip the fuck out of it. I don't see why they didn't bother.
No, I actually I'm putting in full interior back in my car, because it's a track car, but I also still enjoy it as a street car, and would rather have some interior in it. Because my car actually melted my shoe. So.
Ooh.
That's not a good thing.
It has no carpet in it right now. It has no carpet in it.
But in fact,
I've
yeah,
just
you have to
realised
drop
I-
the floor. So there's that.
But
I
yeah,
had to change my-
So go on, Parent.
I have to change my choice for my worst miles per gallon car. It's actually the car that I've got for Scotland, which is bad.
Our
It's-
car for Scotland's really good. It's just it only has one drive shaft.
Mine's
Normal,
mine's
isn't it?
automatic, and it's an old automatic, which means it's going to be really thirsty.
And you've got to drive how many miles in that?
1,500, I think.
Yeah.
1,400, something like that.
In today's fuel economy crisis. Yep.
Saying that though,
My current daily driver is a Tahoe.
It doesn't count as a daily driver if it's been on jack stands for 3 months, Daylan.
Uh,
At that point, you just got a second project car.
yeah, rust is bad. Okay.
I put it up on jack stands, I found rust, I cried, I went home.
No, I kept continuing to fix the rusty brake lines, and I just keep finding more of them.
I tried to decompress the piles, and what I did instead was I made the problem a lot more scary.
Yeah.
Hands
I made
down,
progress on it
the
today.
best
I
quote.
removed the ABS module and threw it away. So
So now you're just going to lock up all dramatic style.
it already did because it was broken, and now it's just going to. Now I'm going to be able to actually bleed my brakes because the ABS module isn't there.
Oh, I'm yawning.
Normally, I would not suggest deleting ABS, but if it's on your shitbox truck that's not really worth putting money into, and the ABS is broken, yes, delete your ABS.
And on that note, are we ready to move on to the next car?
Yes, we have one more slide.
Oh, hello.
These are the 2015 Spider and Speedster concepts that came out pretty much about the same time as the ND Miata.
I was going to
They
assume so
decided-
because they are the ND Miata there.
Yes, they decided to go. They wanted lightweight cars because the ND was all like, okay, everyone complained that the NC was heavy, even though it wasn't actually that heavy. So they made the ND lighter. The ND actually weighs a base ND Miata weighs less than my NB.
I was going to say because they got them down to less than the first one, didn't they?
Yeah, it's still heavier than like an NA, but the weight it's in line with the NB weight wise. They also went back to 4x100 hubs. They did 5 lug on the NC. They went back to 4 lug for the ND.
Oh, you can fit the wheels on this on my car.
Yeah, you could. So, in trying to make them lighter, they made the Spider, which is the one that still has the windshield, 1,043 kilograms or 2,299 pounds. The Speedster is 943 kilograms or 2,078 pounds.
That's not very heavy at all. Still not as light as say a Toyota MR2 third generation, which comes in at 950
the Speedster,
kilos.
They went for more modern Speedster race car vibes. So, no windshield. Interior has carbon fiber trim, modern style race seats, and they got rid of So they also got rid of the infotainment screen on the dash.
I'm noticing they've also slimmed down the mirrors as well.
Yes, they want to. It's low drag setup, even though not having a windshield
Adds a lot of
that's
drag.
not very good aerodynamic wise.
Yeah, especially and it has your
But
face.
it looks like low drag. But it looks.
it
the
looks
Spider-
cool, damn it.
Yeah, the Spider. Again, they've gotten rid of the retractable soft top. The only top you get now is the clip-on bikini top, which I'm a big fan of those. It's a cool look, and they're actually for still having a lot of airflow, but also having shades. They're actually really good for that. They went with brown leather interior and polished trim to go for more of like the old British Roadster vibes.
I get those vibes.
Both cars are on KW coilovers with bigger brakes. 17-inch wheels on the Spider, 16-inch wheels on the Speedster.
I'm liking that. So these must have actual like big performance potential, right?
Yeah, I think they're both stock drivetrain.
Oh.
And it's the Indy 1, so it's like the 160 horsepower 2-liter.
I mean, that's not. These still gonna move. They're still gonna be fairly fun to drive, I imagine.
Yeah, they're very light cars. I don't think anyone that's driven an Indy has complained about it being slow. Especially not when they went to the Indy 2 with the 190 horsepower.
See, because now they're only 2 liters. You can only get them in the 2-liter engine, can't you?
Japan and Europe gets a 1.5.
Oh.
U.S. market gets a 2-liter.
Look at me being completely wrong. Why do we only get 1.5?
2 liter is an option, but there's a base model 1.5 available. I'm assuming that's going to be for displacement tax reasons.
That
or
makes
insurance.
sense. Yeah. That's weird in this kind of. Except the weird thing is, you'd think the engine size makes a big difference to the insurance, but a lot of the time it doesn't. Like sometimes it'll mean like you get mega high tax compared, and sometimes it just means it's like £10 cheaper to have the slightly more powerful engine. It's all very strange.
They've done away with the door handles on the inside of the Speedster. It has pull straps for the handles.
Dope. Yes, that's cool.
It appears they have left the HVAC in both cars.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Looking at it, I was like, hang on a minute, they bothered to keep that, but there's no roof. I'm liking the interior, like triangle-y Wonder Woman belt buckle like thing they've got going on with the center console there. That's quite nice. I like a lot of it. This is, again, I know why they didn't make either of them, because absolutely nobody would buy one, but I like these. These are cool.
I realized what they about did with the Spider. You know how Porsche did their Heritage Edition 911?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. It's the Heritage Edition Miata. It's the Heritage. Even though Mazda's Heritage isn't that long with this model.
I mean, 1989. That's some years.
Well,
Power
the
and do the
911
maths. I
is
can't
going
bother.
back to the 60s.
What?
Do the maths for me because I can't bother. The 911 goes back to the 50s, doesn't it? No, that's like the 901 and all that, isn't it?
1989.
Yeah, how many years ago was that?
That's
Was it 65 was the
33.
first 911, I think, somewhere there?
33, I think.
33 years.
It's-
I don't remember.
Before that was the 356.
That was the one that killed James Dean?
That was the 550, but it was based on 356.
Aha. There we go. I think I saw one of them at Cafe and Machine once. Not the one that killed James Dean, the one that came before the 911.
Was that the first time I met you? I think it was.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And the Lister Storm came in, one of 3 in the world, and he parked it in a back
Lord.
car park and just didn't mention it. Cool guy he was.
I think that's the coolest kind of car collector, is one that just doesn't show it off and just
Yeah.
leaves it in the corner. It's
I-
like, yeah, I've got a 1 of 3 car, but you know, I'm just going to leave it in the car park away from all the other cars.
I think I've discovered that I think my favourite type of car people are TVR people. Because TVR people are just big kids driving around in sports cars they liked when they were young. So they're all immediate. At the drop of a hat, if you say give it a rev, they will rev the tits off it immediately. They will get it sideways if you ask them to. And they're just really happy if someone talks to them about their cars. They'll be like, oh yeah, it's my TVR, it's great. And then they compliment you back. TVR people are great.
Are there any communities that aren't great? Like car communities that are just
Peugeot
miserable?
community sucks a bit.
Yeah, but they're all French and
The Subaru community
Done.
is kind of hit and miss. I have a friend who is a Subaru guy. He's cool, but of course, when I say Subaru guy, he has a BRZ with a wide body turbo setup. So
Fort Kid.
well, he slightly owns a shop, and that's his shop car that he competes with.
Didn't you say that a lot of the Miata people are a bit hit and miss? Like some of them are really cool, and some of them are like, meh.
Most of the ones I've met are cool. Okay, every encounter I've had with somebody with a Miata on the internet has been bad. Every Miata person I've met in person has been cool.
MR2 people tend to be really cool. MR2 people tend to be really third gen especially because like there's so few of them sold that people tend to be like, oh look, it's like my car. Hey, hello. It's like a lost puppy finding its family. It's great.
I've noticed whenever I go up to shows with it, like normal conventional shows, it's normally people in their 40s going, oh, I used to have one of them, but then the wife had back problems and we had to sell it. That's like literally the textbook phrase that they all use.
I keep
My wife's
getting
back got bad.
I keep getting ones that come up and go, oh, I used to have like, and they'll say something similar like they go, I used to have a Fiat X19, you know, which is similar to this. So, or one guy, the guy who's welding, he kind of talked to me, oh, they remind me a bit of my Lancia Monte Carlos, and I'm like, okay. So I'm going to go have a look at them when he's doing the welding. That's going to be very fun.
The X19 I kind of see because it's like small mid-engine four-cylinder thing. The Monte Carlo, however, no, I don't. No, I don't see it.
They are mid-engine, the Monte Carlos, aren't they?
No, I don't think so.
I think they are. I'm not sure.
Am I thinking of the Betas?
Method. Oh, that's also what I'm thinking of. Is the Beta.
The Beta is also mid-engined. I think they might be the same car. I don't know.
Anyway,
No, the Monte Carlo's mid-engined.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, I panicked.
I met a man who had a PDK Cayman at a track day, and he told me he looked at Indy Miatas, but it was easier getting in the Cayman than it was the Miata. Probably the only time a MX-5 has been cross-shopped with a Porsche with a straight face.
The thing is, you say this a lot, don't you, when it comes to the autocross scene? You're saying that a lot of people show up in like M5s, you know, CTSVs, and then they come back the next week with a BRZ or an MX-5 instead because it's just the better thing for it.
My instructor at last event I was at, he had an E92 M3, but he had also had several Miatas in the past.
That tracks. Especially when you get ones like this. Again, very tracks. Yeah, I'm being clever this time. I'm bringing it all back around to topic. These obviously, I imagine, would have been... Well, actually, I imagine the Speedster would have been very good on the track. But I can imagine actually the Roadster one actually being a real delight on a back road.
Both of I'd probably actually rather have the Spider in both like back road or track.
Probably same.
Mostly because I haven't seen good pictures of it with like the bikini top off, but you pretty much have to have a roll bar to clear to make that bikini top work. Because what they usually work is they clip into the windshield frame, stretch over the roll bar, and then snap in at the back. That is how they usually work.
Yeah, I think there is. If you look, there's like at least hoops. So that's something.
Yeah.
Someone's just run to the toilet behind my room. That's hilarious. Is that everything we have on this car?
I'm trying to think what are the notes I had on it. All right, so
Got a number 5 on the side of it.
So why are they both
of them?
number 5?
I think are actually.
Yeah, why are they both number
yeah.
5?
Oh, it's 55. No, the 55 was the Super 25, but no, these 05. I thought they would have gone to 55 because that was the 787B number, but which get used a lot with Mazda stuff. They didn't do that here though.
It's a bit weird. Just a random number, and they're both the same number, but with different roundels.
There may have been some significance to the 5, but I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head.
I think I know where it is. They're MX-5s.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah.
None of us thought that.
Yes, that tracks. That tracks actually.
So, I mean, aren't you a qualified engineer?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm a machinist.
Okay, so we got 2 machinists, a trained mechanic. You know.
What? A level 3 qualified mechanic. You
Yeah,
mean?
at least
City
one of us
Guild.
has a degree, and none of us
I mean,
thought
I'm
to make the
straight-
connection between 5 and MX-5.
I do have a degree, a technical degree.
2 of us have degrees. Come on, Parent, you let the side down.
What?
Where's your degree, man? You let-
I think
I don't need a degree.
I
I'm
like
just
the
cool.
color on the Speedster a lot. I actually would have put the Speedster color on the Spider, and that would have been perfect.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Actually, what I'd rather is if we just take this colour and put it on everything.
They did that
nice
actually.
color.
The 35th anniversary, Indy 2. They immediately went up to stupid values in the U.S. because it's the only Indy Miata you can get in a color. For some inexplicable reason, all of the Indies are sold in like white, silver, black, or appliance ruby red. There's no actual fun colors there.
I don't understand why people buy sports cars in dull colours. Why?
Well, Mazda does not offer them in any colors except for the 35th anniversary got that bright orange, which looks beautiful.
But the thing is, it just like right. Okay, our MR2s, they're both black. I think actually having a
Yeah.
white sports car kind of works. I can get because it does still stand out. But like, it's such a bright and happy like bubbly car. Why wouldn't you have it orange or purple or it always confuses me why people go for silver, especially.
Actually, if I ever actually do body work on my car and make it look nice, I'm going Miami blue on it.
Yeah, no, I'd see that.
Before I bought my MR2, there was a chap in my village who had one in bright orange. I think.
I've seen the photos of it.
Didn't-
Yeah,
Yeah. We were speaking to the chap. I think when we
Yeah.
were fixing your.
do my
car.
exhaust. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
I wish
just-
I'd have done mine that colour, but
because
I don't know.
it's is it BMW orange he had on it?
I don't know. I think it was.
It was really, really nice. But again, like MR2s over here, the vast majority of the time you see them, they're silver. MR2s, especially the NBs, vast majority of the time you see them, they're silver. I don't get why you'd have a sports car in silver. It's
My friend's got a MX-5 NB in yellow. I think it's called the
Oh.
Arizona.
I love Arizona
Like,
yellow.
I remember. I'm not familiar with that. That may have been a different marketing thing over there.
Yeah.
It was well, I can't remember what the name of the color. I mean, the yellow one, if it's just an option, the color yellow on its own was an option, but a very rare one here.
This
Well,
one's
I
like
do
a-
laugh though, because people talk about the special edition, like the 01 British Racing Greens. There were 3,000 of those. That's one of the most common colors on an NB, like total, like through all the production years.
I'd also
There was
argue it's
3,000 of those sold in 1 year.
I'd also argue it sucks as a color, and I hate
Blaze
British
yellow,
Racer Green.
that's the colour.
Yes,
the
blaze
yellow.
yellow. That's a good yellow. That's a good yellow.
Right then, lads, are we happy to say we're finished with this
I don't-
car?
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I think so, because I didn't do more slides. I could have got more slides. I didn't do more slides.
Oh, that's fine. Well, thank you very much for coming on today, Daylan. That was a huge save you did there, because none of us had anything prepared. As is life.
I nearly forgot about it. That's why I was up at like 4 a.m. putting slides together.
Oh, now I feel bad.
No, don't feel bad about me forgetting the thing I agreed to do. Don't feel bad about me.
So, guys, this was a slightly disjointed one, but I hope you enjoyed it. We had fun making it. We do not know what the next episode is going to be. Everything's going to be a bit up in the air for a moment while we figure out where we land in the absence of our former host, who what was it? Slipped and died in the shower. Was that what we're going with?
Yeah, sure.
That. Do we have any announcements, lads?
I'm pregnant.
I
and
knew
it's
it.
yours.
I knew it. I don't want it, but I will sell it
Oh.
on eBay.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna, just take it down to the charity shop, but we'll put it on eBay, get a couple of quid
Prom
back
night
for
dumpster
it.
baby.
No, not a dumpster baby.
And we're
Also nice.
cancelled off the air. Daylan, any announcements from you?
No, nothing particular. Nothing solid happening. Things are doing, but nothing solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where can I find you guys?
what? Is that what Amber Heard said when she was?
Whoa! I'm editing this out. Hey.
Oh, God.
Note to Alex in the future:
Sorry.
edit this out. No. Where can we find you guys online? Digital socials.
I'm Daylan_C on Instagram. Daylan_CH on TikTok.
Parent?
Just Daylan Chapman on YouTube. And not a lot of YouTube. Most of my YouTube is my just reposting my Twitch content, which is hit and miss.
I like yours mostly when you're rolling lorries in Cardiff. That's usually great.
That actually didn't go up on Twitch.
God damn it!
That should have.
I was on that one, sort of.
Well, that was just streaming straight to Discord because I was bored and I believe high that night. So
Nice.
Parent, where can we find you?
In the pub or on TikTok as Parentod YT, which I don't know why it's YT because I can't be asked making a YouTube channel and it requires effort.
You've been parentodied.
And on Instagram, hopefully it's not been taken over by another Nigerian scammer like per usual. Yeah, that's the same. Parentod YT, all one word.
And as usual, you can find me at your dad's house. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I don't know what time zone you're in, so have a good morning, good evening, and good night. And thank you for listening. Goodbye from me, Alex.
goodbye, Daylan.
That was really delayed.
And goodbye from Nelson Mandela. I mean, Parentod. Sorry,
All right.
wrong person.
Cheers for watching, guys. Thank you very much. Good night.